In this video we're going to talk about the style panel. So if we select any element in our Webflow site, you can see that the style panel, which you can access here on the right hand side, is going to be populated. Now at the very top you can see the name and the specific element that you selected. You can also decide to create a component, which is something that we're going to discuss further along in this video and in future videos. And you can also decide to collapse or expand all of the style panel sections, because as you can see, these are essentially drop downs that you can toggle on and off. And you can also go on focus mode, which is going to focus just on the element that you are looking at. But at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to expand all, and we're going to go one by one. Now, granted, we're going to explore a lot of these elements in much more detail in future videos, but I want to give you a high-level overview of the style panel. And if you get started, you can see that over here there is this heading jumbo. Now this is called a class, and classes are going to be essential in a Webflow in order for us to create specific attributes which are going to be repeated throughout various elements. So if you're already familiar with CSS and HTML, you are going to understand these classes concepts in no time, because it's exactly what's going on behind the scenes in code, just in a more user-friendly way. Now you can also create combo classes, which we're going to discuss in future videos, but just to give you a preview, you can actually add multiple classes over here. So if I want to create a second class, I simply click on enter, and I can create multiple classes. So this is going to be something that you're going to see often in Webflow builds and that you're going to leverage yourself. Over here under the layouts panel, you can actually decide the display type of this item, and again we're going to discuss each and every one of these display types. So for example, if I want to make this a flex item, so leveraging Flexbox, I can do it directly from here, and I'm going to have access to all of the Flexbox items which we're going to discuss in future videos. We can also adjust the margin and the padding areas from here. So if, for example, I want more margin on the top, you can see how the moment that I click with the left mouse button and I drag it up, or I can simply click on it and add a specific value, which I can also utilize one of the shortcuts directly from here, and press enter. You can see how now this item, this heading, is going to have 100 pixels of margin on the top. And a quick shortcut which I use all the time and I recommend you to check out is Shift plus Option, and then you can create and adjust the margins and the padding values of all four sides in a very short amount of time. So this is going to come in really handy, and that is Shift plus the Option key. Now we're going to reset this and we're going to go to the next section, which is going to be the size. Now this is where you're going to basically decide the size of the element, and you can set both the width and the height, which by default here on this element is going to be auto. But say that I wanted this to be a maximum of 250 pixels. I click on enter, and as you can see, now we have a fixed size for this specific element set at 250 pixels. And you can also leverage the minimum height and width or the maximum height and width in order to set sizes which are going to be especially handy for responsive purposes. And over here you can also set the overflow properties, And there's going to be more things that we're going to discuss regarding these. If you're already familiar with CSS, you're going to know already what these options are. But for the time being, I just want to keep this video short and sweet. And once again, we can essentially change the positioning directly from here, set the clear values, and then all of the usual typography adjustments. So if I want to make this text blue or change the font, I can easily do it from here. Same for weight, size, height. We're going to explore all of these in just a second, as there's really a lot of that you can do when it comes to these settings. You can also add a background, and we're going to make this extra fancy for now. Let's just keep it simple. You're going to be able to adjust also the borders, and there's going to be the effects, which or things like drop shadows and transformations of all sizes in these effects panel, blending modes, opacity, things of that nature. So we're going to explore all of this in just a moment, but I wanted to give you already a heads up as to what is possible utilizing the style panel in Webflow, and this is going to be one of the panels that you're going to use the vast majority of the time. So start experimenting. My recommendation is right after this video, start experimenting with the style panel and create some unique elements, and just get your feet wet with the Webflow interface.